out of character for me because I'm normally like a man hater. Not a thing that's hidden anymore. I am like the biggest West stan. I'm really trying to grapple with that. Just finished the book. I need a minute to deal with this. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to yet another reading vlog. Honestly, I've been loving filming like reading vlogs. I love just reading books with you guys, so today's video is kind of just an excuse to film yet another reading vlog. I also set myself up for failure like most times when I'm reading because I like to start book series, but I never actually complete the series. And it's kind of just like a mental battle in my head the whole time because I know that I should be responsible and read books like in a certain series that I'm already in the middle of. But of course, as per usual, I mean, classic Bryn move, okay, I'm gonna be starting another series. So today's video is going to be the first edition of like an entire series that I want to start on my channel of me just finishing book series that I'm in the middle of. I just never finish them for some reason, so that is what today's video is going to be. Honestly, want to start small, want to start easy on a book that I'm already kind of like excited to start because I feel like that is the easiest way to just get my whole reading vlog started and just get my whole reading journey started. I like to say reading journey started. Hey, it's just the start of a new week. Like, first book that I want to start with is none other than, drumroll please, Wild Eyes by Elsie Silver. I've been kind of reading this book with you guys in a few of my past vlogs. I've just been like slowly getting into the book, and for some odd reason I didn't really have a video to incorporate this book into, so I thought this is part of a series, so let me just incorporate it into this video. Wild Love by Elsie Silver is the first book in the series, and I gave this book a 5 stars. I would give it a million stars if I could. I'm hoping Wild Eyes is going to give me that same feeling. I'm just so excited that this is the book that we're starting with. So let's go ahead, let's start reading. Well, start reading. I am already currently reading it, but let's continue reading Wild Eyes by Elsie Silver. Hello everyone, it is officially update time. It is actually the next day. I'm gonna be completely honest, throughout this entire reading vlog, I've been going through like the biggest reading slump, so please bear with me, okay? I'm trying to get through this. Basically, I have some updates for you guys on Wild Eyes. The whole idea of this book, if I didn't explain it before, is it's just like a small town romance. I feel like that's the best way to describe it. Like, honestly, there's not much else that's really like the core of this book, but I do love these characters and I just love the like Rose Hill Ranch that this whole series occurs on. And honestly, I think that this is not going to be that high of a rating. I mean, I'm not even like halfway through it yet, but it's like, it feels like I'm trekking to get through this book if I'm being completely honest. And I'm just not the biggest fan of our girl main character. I don't hate her by any means, but a big pet peeve of mine is actually like when romance books have like an influencer or a celebrity like in the book, because it just takes me out of it. Like, for some reason I'm just like, hey, like, I'm not trying to read about like real world stuff. Oh, it's like I'm literally like, what is that analogy, biting on sandpaper? I don't know how to describe it, but like you know what I mean? Like, I'm just like, ugh, like I start like gritting my teeth almost. Low-key angry because I'm just like, hey, I don't care. I'm just gonna leave it at that, okay? Because I really don't know how to articulate my feelings. I feel like maybe at the end of the book, when I'm giving my like actual final rating, I'll be able to articulate things better, but for right now, I don't know. Not the biggest fan of Skylar. I do literally love West though, which is very out of character for me because I'm normally like a man hater. A lot of the times when I'm reading like any book and there's a man in it, I try to pick apart reasons to hate him. I'm like, oh, why would he do that? Why would he say that? Like, why is he being cringe? This time I'm just like, I love West. And I liked him in the first book because I did like, I don't know, he was introduced in the first book, but obviously he wasn't the main character in the first book. Him being the main character in this book and his humor, like, I will not shut up about West's humor because I'm literally laughing out loud. We need to cut it there, okay? Because I'm done talking about this. Would like to get 2/3 of the way through this book today, and I feel like that is a good goal for the day. So honestly, I'm just gonna read a little bit more of Wild Eyes. I'm glad that this is the book that we're starting with. I don't know, it just feels like an easy book. Like, I don't have to explain any backstory or any world building kind of stuff to you guys, and I don't have to worry about spoiling anything because like it's an interconnected standalone series, so it really doesn't matter that much. I don't know, we'll see how far we get into this today, but let's go ahead, let's continue reading Wild Eyes. think last time I talked to you guys, I said I want to get at least 2/3 of the way into Wild Eyes by Elsie Silver. I finished the book last night. I'm very conflicted because I do really like this story, but part of the reason why I like this story so much is because I like the setting, and I like, I guess, just seeing the couple from the first book also be in this book. And it's a little bit weird because I feel like if I'm just basing it off of these two characters' storyline, I think their storyline I would personally give like a 3 stars because I really didn't care for it that much. The book as a whole, I'm going to give a 4 stars. I honestly really liked it. I just love the small town that this takes place in, so I knew that I would love it going into it, but honestly I think I was expecting to love it more than I did. It's not a thing that's hidden anymore. I am like the biggest West stan literally ever on planet Earth. I think that honestly the reason why I like his character so much is because he just has a way of dealing with things like mentally that I feel like he uses the same like coping mechanisms as me, and also I just feel like him as a character is just so fully fledged out, and like everything that he does and says I agree with. And I don't know, like he was funny in the first book. I already knew that he was a funny character, but we didn't really get much of him in the first book because it wasn't like his book. This book is his book. I feel like nothing else needs to be said on that front, okay? But honestly, I think the reason why my rating is 4 stars and not a 5 stars for this book, it just didn't give me a 5-star feeling, okay? I'm not like the hugest fan of our other main character, Skylar. Also, I feel like that needs to be said. I just don't really like when books have one of the main characters as like an influencer or celebrity. It can appear really like snobby and uptight in the beginning, and Skylar was definitely giving that in the beginning, okay? I think I was actually like an avid hater of her in the beginning, but the further and further we went along in the book, the further and further she would like open up and become more herself, and I feel like I was liking her more and more as the story was progressing. But a very big important thing for me is liking the characters the whole way through, so I think that's also why I gave it a 4 stars. Honestly, I don't really want to talk too much in depth about this book because I'm so excited to start the next book, okay? The next book that I want to start is called 4 Ruined Realms by Mai Cortland. Guys, okay, I feel like this is just a me thing, but the first book, 5 Broken Blades by Mai Cortland, I gave it a 5 stars, and it's actually one of my favorite fantasy books of all time, and I feel like a lot of people don't feel that way about that book, but I do, okay? I will die on that hill. So I'm so excited because 4 Ruined Realms just recently came out, and I don't know, I feel like I've just been like pining, like literally on my knees begging to read that book, and I finally have it in my grasp. That is the next book that I'm gonna start. I'm so excited for it. Let's read the premise of 4 Ruined Realms really quickly so that I can kind of explain it better. But the whole premise of 5 Broken Blades, I think it was like 6 characters all coming together to try to take down the king of a kingdom, and they all had their own motives, but they were all coming together to kind of pull off this just revenge type of thing. It says his sister's ring is in his sights and he will do anything to get what he wants, even manipulating the 5 blades to steal it. Bonded by a common enemy, then divided by deceit, the blades must rely on their skills to pull off King June's pursuit or risk his legendary wrath. So I think where we left off on 5 Broken Blades, not to spoil anything, but we kind of ended up like needing to have a deal with the king, and now these characters are dealing with, do they actually want to follow through on this deal? Are they actually going to obviously do it? And how is it going to be done? So that's kind of where we left off on 5 Broken Blades. I am so excited for 4 Ruined Realms. Like I need to know how the story ends. I'm literally in love with all these characters, and I feel like it's one of those fantasy books that doesn't take itself too seriously, and I think that's its charm. So enough yapping, okay? Let's just start reading 4 Ruined Realms. Maybe my most anticipated release. I'm not even joking. I'm so excited. Oh my gosh. Guys, it is, I wish that I was joking like 4 days later. For no apparent reason at all, I just got into a book slump. I'll leave it at that, okay? I am finally about to start this book. I feel like the last clip I was so excited to start the book and I literally waited 4 days, which is so insane, but here we go. Guys, I think this might have just changed my life. So we're already starting off in the book and it's giving me a page that says previously in the Broken Blades trilogy. First of all, didn't know it was a trilogy. Now I'm so very excited. But second of all, like things that I kind of forgot like exactly what happened, it's laying it out for me. Thank God, because me and my memory loss, like unfortunately we all know how I am with my memory loss, okay? Like it's really bad. So I was already scared going into like this video in general that I would like forget a lot of things in the first books in the series and it would just be a little bit of an issue, but like Mai Cortland always has my back every time without fail. Love you. Let's get to reading.
I swear I'm always on your mind. I have to stop it.
God help me, please. everyone. I have a few updates reading wise for you guys. Obviously this is a reading vlog, so I would hope that my updates are reading wise. Trying to break out of book slump here. Okay, I feel like I went like at least 4 days without reading literally virtually anything at all, so I'm going through the motions of a book slump. Also realizing that I look bald. Hold on. Heavily struggling because obviously the whole idea, you guys are like, Bryn, actually shut up. We don't care. I'm struggling a little bit with this book right now just because, I don't know, I feel like in 5 Broken Blades, you're following these characters who, in the beginning, you obviously know that they don't like each other. Like, they've never really met before. 2 of them had met before, but like, majority of them, it was like, hey, we're all enemies. Like, we don't like each other, but we have to come together to like pull off this mission. I'm like really trying to speak in code here. My issue currently is just like, I feel like we're back to square one, and I'm struggling a lot with that because the whole idea of the first book was to like follow them, and then they become like kind of like a family by the end of it. Then something happened at the end of the first book that kind of just like ruined that whole idea, and now I'm just like, I'm struggling a lot because they're not close anymore, and I'm just like, oh, like I'm back to square one. We're starting over again. And by the way, it's a POV between like 6 different characters. Like, there is a lot of information to be taking in, especially when they're not working together on the mission. Like, they kind of are, but kind of not, if that makes any sense. So it's a little bit more difficult also to follow their POVs because they all kind of have their own different thing going on. I am a Kindle girl, so starting her up. Okay, I think she is fully charged finally. So time to continue reading Four Ruined Realms. I really hoping and praying that it goes as well as the first book. I think I have a whole like 2 hours just to simply read and do nothing else. So that's exactly what I'm gonna do. I just want to read right now. So gonna sit in my bed on my Kindle and read Four Ruined Realms. Start crying. I wish I was joking. Guys, I'm like tearing up. And it's so unserious. It really just... The first book are 2 girl characters. Ari and Sora were not the closest of friends. I think they were like the least friends in this entire like newfound friend group. In this book, they're like actually learning to trust each other, and it's just something that I find so special, especially with like Sora, for example, because she had a very tough like time just growing up and everything. I feel like a female friendship is really going to solidify who she is, and it's really going to help her. So her newfound friendship with our other female main character in this book, Ari, it makes me want to tear up every single time. And this quote just happened that I was like, oh wow. It says, there are scars we display, and then there are the ones we don't want anyone to see. Ari trusted me with the darkest parts of her story, the deep, ugly wounds, and I think she's more beautiful for surviving them. The darkness makes me appreciate her light. There's genuinely something just so, I guess, just healing about watching their friendship kind of just take form, because in the first book they were obviously not the closest of friends. Ari and Sora are the only characters right now that I'm seeing like bits and pieces of like, okay, they trust each other again, okay, like they're actually friends. Anytime Ari and Sora are just like doing anything or thinking anything, like in the current state that we're at in the book, I'm just like, oh my god, I love you, girl. My literal heart belongs to just Ari and Sora right now. Probably soon will belong to the rest of the characters, but right now it's only Ari and Sora in my heart and in my head. That's it. I really don't have much else to share. I'm just gonna continue reading. I really needed that to be said because it's breaking me a little bit, and I don't know who else to talk to about it. There's like so many different things that I'm highlighting because I'm just like, I love this book. This quote is what Sora says to one of our other characters. I'm not going to give away who she's saying it to because I feel like that might give away a little bit of the story. It says, maybe deserve is the wrong word because that makes it seem like love is a reward, and it's not. It isn't, question mark. We don't deserve love any more than we deserve air. It's just something we need. That coming from Sora, my heart is literally like breaking in half right now. Honestly, I think Sora is my favorite character, like by far. I just love her and I can't believe that that quote came from Sora. I need a minute to deal with this. Guys, I just finished the book. I need to gather myself. I'll probably give you guys like my rating and everything a little bit later just because like right now, I feel like I need a minute to like get myself together. Maybe this is one of those moments where I actually have to think about the rating. A little bit scary, but I finished the book. I'm so excited. That was really, really good. Okay, everyone, it's officially time to give you guys my rating and my opinion on Four Ruined Realms by Mai Corland. I feel like honestly, anytime I'm reading like a fantasy series, especially fantasy series, the middle books kind of just stagger a little bit for me. Like whenever it's a trilogy, especially, like that middle book just feels like a buffer book. I don't know, you get a little bit of the characters, but it's never anything crazy because we're saving all like the crazy things for the last book. And I did really, really enjoy Four Ruined Realms. I think that honestly, it's a very, very good sequel to Five Broken Blades because I loved Five Broken Blades literally with all of my heart, body, soul, and mind. So honestly, I feel like even though there wasn't really like that much going on, I did enjoy that more than I thought that I would. I wasn't that bored throughout the entire thing. In the beginning, it was obviously a little bit more difficult to get back into it, especially after the way that the first book left off, because like I said before, like something happens in the end of the first book where I guess they're just not really the closest of friends anymore and they have to learn to trust each other again. So I was dealing with that like very heavily in the beginning, especially because obviously these characters are all like a friend group or like a found family type of group, but they also have like relationships and it's like just a bunch of interwoven type of vibe. I feel like I'm talking in circles. I'm so sorry. I feel like honestly the only correct rating for the book is a 3.5 stars. That like hurt my heart a little bit because I did really, really enjoy the book. I just feel like a 4-star is a little bit too high of a rating. 3 stars on the other hand is too low of a rating for sure, and I know 1000% in my head it's not a 5-star read. I don't know, I feel like honestly it was a good sequel and that's pretty much the extent of it. I obviously love our characters and the world that this is happening in, so there's always that little added layer of, oh, of course, I love the entire book, but some pieces I'm just like, okay.